Hey everybody, welcome back to Mobility RX. Luke Chichetto here in Clearwater, Florida, talking to you guys a little bit about stretching, whether it's good or bad, whether or not what's the perfect stretch, right? So I get a lot of questions. They always ask me, oh, what's the perfect stretch for golf? What's the perfect stretch for baseball, hamstrings, whatever. The reality is there's no perfect stretch, man. When you think about the anatomy 101, we got spindles in our body, we got GTOs in your body that protect you from stretching too fast and tearing that muscle. So if there were a perfect stretch, you'd want to simulate that GTO or that spindle first, and then you could stretch it, depending on what you're looking for though. So if you're looking at say a hamstring and you're stretching down, you can't get any range of motion on your hamstrings, you're like, damn, I do this every day. Why aren't I getting more flexible? You throw your leg up, you're trying to get down there, you're trying to stretch, right? It's like frustration. All day long, you're getting frustrated. Well, because if you do it too fast, it's like brakes on a car. They're automatically going to just engage. You're driving around with your emergency brake on all day. They're called spindles. Spindles run parallel with the musculature. So when you activate or you stimulate them and get the central nervous system to turn them off, now you can get into a static stretch at an easier condition than you would trying to just pull on it. When you pull on it, the spindles kick in and protect that tissue, and now it's like leather on leather and pulling rather than the elasticity properties that are within the musculature. We also have tendons that prevent you from picking something up too heavy or stretching too fast. Those are also another indicator that you may not get the range of motion that you're looking for. Okay, now I'm going to give you guys an example about what I was just telling you about with the spindles, how they contract and they don't allow the elasticity properties to take place. An example of a couple of stretches, or what I would do here in Mobility RX, why I get people better. Always looking to stimulate it in a certain way, or agitate it in a certain way, to where I can get that central nervous system to shut it down. A lot of times I'll kind of draw a little example of that. So we got a stiff muscle or a short muscle. Okay, we got a little, just goes the bone here, bring it off the tendon. Got the muscle tissue here, okay, a little pore, a little drawing. When I cut it in half, the spindles run parallel to that, okay? GTOs run parallel to the muscular tissue. But if I look at the striations, if I blow this up, pull it out here, and I look at the striations of the muscular tissue, what happens is it gets shortened by the Z-lines. We talk about Z-lines, I'm not going to get off in the anatomy too much, but if you get into the shortening effect, they start to get closer to each other. They start pulling towards each other, right? Because I'm stuck. An example of that is taking a rubber band and wrapping it around a tire, right? When I put it around the tire and I leave it out in the sun and I pull it off, it's now lost the elasticity properties and I want to get that back. Well, how do I get that back? Well, I've got to agitate this muscle tissue in here, okay? And then once it's agitated, it's going to turn off the signals from a proprioceptive standpoint. It's going to turn those signals off from the brain. The signal is coming down. It's going to send it back and it's going to say, okay, I'm okay to stretch now. Where right now it's in protect mode. It's like in the hunter-gatherer perspective, if I'm outside in the woods and I rolled my ankle, the fascia bags and all the spindles are protecting that tissue that you might have torn. So it's shortened, the shortening factors are shortening up here. Now I've got to turn them off. Once they're off, now I can come back and stretch that out. So a good example for doing that would be just to take, like for your forearm example, and if I can just agitate it in any way for 2 minutes, you got to do about 2 minutes on the agitation. And you rub that tissue for 2 minutes. I'm not going to do the whole 2 minutes here. But then you come back, and now I can come back and stretch my forearm or whatever area that I'm working with. So an example that I wanted to kind of show you is I got two bands here. All right. And this is kind of how it is if I wanted to stretch, say, the psoas out, right? If my stiffening effect is protecting me at one part of the psoas, and I go to try to stretch it, I'm just pulling on that leather that I was explaining to you guys about over here. It's kind of like that leather strap, and I'm only stretching part of that tissue out down here. But if I can agitate this and release this, now I'm going to act like it's all one tissue, and now I can come back and stretch the entire range of motion. Where before, it's just like part of that range of motion that I'm stretching, okay? So, is there a perfect stretch? No, there's not a perfect stretch. Can there be a perfect stretch? Yes, that's determined by your coach or who's helping you along. Someone like myself, they'll get you better at whatever game you're trying to accomplish, whether that is golf, baseball, whatever sport you're looking to do. daily grind, the 9 to 5, bout or injury that you might have experienced throughout your life. So we can talk more in depth of that into the board. Really not trying to give away the entire anatomy 101, don't want to bore you with that. Just wanted to give you some type of help so that you can go about your day and make your life a little easier. Alright, well I hope this video was helpful for you guys. Once you go, want some more information on this, once you guys go to subscribe to the YouTube for me, go to my Facebook page and sign up for the newsletter. Take a look at my my website as well, and I'll be sending you guys some free stuff as we go along. Thanks, I'll see you next time.